Stinky Turner here, and welcome to my Rough and Ready podcast. And I've got an extra special guest tonight on here, and I'm talking about from the legendary, the mighty Cock Sparrer, arguably the biggest punk band in the world. We know that. And the legendary frontman, Mr. Colin Mcfaul. Welcome, Col.
Hello, Jeff. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. You getting ready for America tomorrow?
Yeah. Looking forward to it. We've not been back to LA for 25 years.
And 25 years?
Yeah. I mean, the history of it is the very first time we went to the States was in 2000. We had offers before that, but they really sort of come to nothing. Then we got an offer to go and do 4 dates, one in New York, one in Boston, one in San Francisco, and one in LA, like 4 consecutive days with a reputable company. And flew to New York, played CBGBs, which was always a box to tick, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, definitely, yeah.
I was jumped on a train up to Boston, met at Boston by Kenny Casey and the Murphys boys who lent us all their back line and all that sort of stuff. Next day, flew over to San Francisco, did the gig there, ended it in LA. Never been back to all those places since, apart from LA. So
fantastic.
So we're long overdue.
Right, brilliant, Cole. So where I want to kick this off is I'll go back to the year you was born and your roots, where you was born and growing up as a kid.
I was born in 1956, so that makes me the grand old age of 69, 70 next year.
69, nice position to be in. Yeah.
I'm getting so old, Jeff. Pregnant women get out for me on the bus now. Offer me in the seat now.
Have you got a bus pass, Cole?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I ain't afraid to use it, mate, I'll tell you. You got to take advantage of that when you can. So, yeah. born in East Ham, brought up in East Ham. My dad, I was the youngest of 4 kids. My dad was a lorry driver. My mum was a cleaner at the hospital. Went to junior school just round the road. And then in secondary schools where I met the other lads in the band, and that's really where we started.
Right, so your junior school, I mean, I know East Ham a little bit, just going to the Granada and the indoor market. What they had there. So what primary school would you have been? Would that have been Hartley?
No, I was in Monica Road was my school.
Oh, right. And how about your senior school, Cole?
East Ham Grammar, which then went into Langton's. It went comprehensive the year that we left, sort of thing. So we were careful for just missed the comprehensive bit of it. But Monica Road was funny because we was playing in, where were we? We was in Amsterdam a few years ago, and the Ruts, DC, they built. Never met the lads at that stage, never sort of chatted to or anything like that, but was talking to Segs, had the same sort of conversation. Where was you brought up? He went, East Ham. I said, I was brought up at East Ham. He said, what school did you go to? I said, Monica Road. He went, oh, I went to Monica Road. He said, what year, how old are you now then? So I gave him the age. He goes, we must have been in the same fucking class at school.
It's mental, isn't it? They never got through, see.
I'm not sure to this day whether he was winding me up or not.
Oh, well, he has said that to me. He has said that to me before, but I thought it was backstage and there was a lot of noise or whatever. Yeah. But so you come from that, Cole. So what got you into music? What was your early musical tastes and thought, I want to have a go at this?
I was the youngest of the 4. So I've got an oldest sister. Then I've got 2 brothers. My sister won't mind me saying, but her musical taste has always been crap. Yeah. me two brothers were both mods, like, you know, 2-tone suits and Vespa GSs and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And they used to buy a lot of the Tamla stuff and the Stack stuff and all the old soul stuff and import America and things like that. The brother who's just older than me, 5 years older, I remember vividly, he'd come in on a Friday night after he got paid and he bought the latest 45 single from the Temptations or the Four Tops or the Reaper or someone, you know what I mean? And we used to have this old dance-set record player and he'd come in,
brilliant.
He'd leave the arm off, right? And this one record would play all night.
Yeah.
And by the end of the night, I knew the words to all the songs. And I knew every word to it. And then that was my sort of upbringing, really. You know, that was my pattern.
Yeah.
I very much grew up within their guidelines of what their tastes were. and their taste very much Tamla Motown, Stax, and all that American songs.
Yeah, so it was an escapism, really. So I suppose when you, I mean, all we had really at that time was half hour every Thursday night, Top of the Pops, where you see your heroes. And I think it was 71 the old Grey Whistle Test come out, but I was too young to stay up with that. So then you move into senior school.
Yeah.
Now, this is great stuff. So the band listed that you formed in 1972. So you're 15, 16 years of old.
15.
How did it come about with Mickey, Stevie Bruce, and Stevie the bass player? How did that come about, Stevie Burgess?
They're a year older than me.
Oh, right.
And in school at the time, there was like 3 or 4, maybe 5 little bands all knocking around, all trying to do their thing, all trying to call their future wives at dances and all things like that. And they were in, 3 of them were in one band, and I was in another band, for example. And we just ended up getting together because we thought that made sense, because I thought they was a drummer in the school, and he thought I could sing a bit, and we thought we'd give it a go. So we formed the band then. Like any young band, struggled to get gigs, played youth clubs and things like that. We had a regular gig on a Friday night at a place called Trinity's Youth Club, which was opposite the Burnett Farms, just off the High Street, right? East End.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We'd go down there, and Will, who's like my oldest mate, who's our stage manager. I've known him since I was 5 years old. He went to Monica Road as well. He used to do the DJing, and we used to copy everybody else's songs very, very poorly. We just a cover band at that stage. Whatever was in the charts, we'd try and play it, completely copy it. You know what I mean? But it was good fun. And that's usually where we started. We've done that probably for a year or so. I remember being 16 and all of a sudden thinking, this is it for me. I don't really want to do anything else. So I left school. And then I just thought, I'll give this a go.
So you left school, so you think I'm going to give the band a go.
Yeah.
Now we come in at 75, 76. You're playing cover songs, right? And I know your influences, mod bands, soul bands, and all that. Now, how did the switch from that to punk come about? How did that come about? And you thought, right, this is the route we're going to go down.
I found one of our set lists the other day from around that time, believe it or not. I was screwed up a bit of paper, and it was like Gene Genie, David Bowie, something like Alice Cooper, Under My Wheels. So while we was doing all them covers, all we was really doing, the way we looked at it, was just like learning our trade. And then our own identity started to change when we started to write our own stuff, as you must have found as well. But once you start writing your own stuff, you put your own stamp on it, you put your own, put your own enthusiasm into it. Really difficult. It's still difficult to get gigs. We used to do quite a few at the Bridge House. I know you know very well. But we I don't think we ever sort of headlined it yet, but we were first call when one of the support bands dropped out. You know what I mean? We get a phone call from Terry off of Rio and say, so-and-so's dropped out tonight. Do you want to come down? We'll give you a $5 on a plate of sandwiches. And we thought, well, happy days. It's like free.
Yeah, that'd do, because it was all kind of stuff like RDB, Rimmerstown Boulevard, and all that, but like Jackie Linton and all that, Dumpy's Rusty Nuts and all that before the punk thing come. And if you take that into context, Cole, where we was in East London, there wasn't many East London bands come through. So you had the Small Faces. There weren't many venues. You had the Ruskin, which the Bikers Place near you, the Bridge House, and the fucking Iron Bridge Tavern, which was a proper dump. That was it, really, because everything started. It was happening in the city and up west.
Always the other side down.
So you've been playing them gigs. Now, where's the connection then that you're starting to write your own songs, that Malcolm McLaren comes into the scene and you get set up with him?
Yeah. We didn't get set up with him at all. He didn't want to know, to be honest, but we got him interested enough to come over and have a chat about it.
Yeah.
We were doing gigs here, there and everywhere, wherever you can get them. As you know, you struggle Pepsi for gigs when you're that young and unproven. You got no one else knocking on doors for you apart from yourself.
Yeah.
He was already in the sex in the shop in Kings Road with Vivian West and all that, where the Crystals all used to meet up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where allegedly Rotten sang to the jukebox, and that got him a gig, that sort of thing. And we went in. We just went in there a couple of times. A couple of bingo my band. A couple just went in and said, "Look, here's a tape. You want to come down and see us? Yeah, I don't want to read your tape. So come down and see us anyway." We rehearsed at this pub in East Ham called the Road Inn. We used to go, take a little room upstairs. And fuck me, he said, I'll come. Now he was coming from West London all the way over to darkest East London, and we were so bad. We was speaking only a couple of weeks ago about the songs we played in Malcolm McLaren as our audition. Fuck me, my toes are curly. Thick. There was Malcolm McLaren and this other geezer who came in with like bondage trousers and a cowboy hat, and we're there in our jungle greens and our Martins and thinking, yeah, this I can't see this is ever going to work. You know what I mean? No, he's I mean, I think the Pistols were formed at this time, and he was talking about, I don't know, building up a group of bands or whatever. You know what I mean? To have a few on with them. But we were so poor. We were so poor.
That's really, I know where you come. We went into a couple of things before, and I'll look back now and I think, fucking hell, no wonder they showed us their door. For fuck's sake, it really, really rough. But then, so we got the 4 Nucleus members, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Then, when did Gary Laming come into the frame?
Gary was in the band for about 18 months, and it would have been about on the onset of punk, really, 76, because he played on both the singles, 77.
Yeah.
So it would have been around 76 time. Gary was Burge's cousin.
Yeah.
We needed a rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
And he had a rhythm guitar. And he had so we said, "You're in."
Yeah. That's how it was in days, yeah.
That's how Gal got involved. And to be honest, I mean, he was a character who was always out hustling. He was always out, knocking on doors, trying to get things done. He was always trying to get us in sounds.
Yeah, it's an hustler, Gary, yeah.
Yeah. But I say it was in the band about 18 months, that was all. In 78, after the 2 singles come out in 78, and we got booted off a Decca, we then decided to try luck in America, sold all our gear, went to America. Gary didn't want to go. So that was the end of that really.
That was it.
Yeah.
Right, then I'll come back to that because you hadn't played a lot of gigs, really, Cole. But then you get signed to Decca. I mean, a fucking big label, Decca. And you look at the history of Decca. So how come they come? Was it an A&R geezer come to watch you play?
No.
Or no?
No, there was the story behind Decca was that I think Decca felt as though they needed to have some punk bands. Every other record label had punk bands, and punk was a
right
thing, and they had to be part of it. So they signed Adam the Ants, Salt and the Dogs, and us.
Right.
So they didn't have a clue what to do with us, and we were pretty unhelpful and belligerent, and thought we knew best and really knew fuck all.
But that's where we come from, isn't it? And we don't like being brushed up. That's the Cockney way. Yeah.
That's why We Love You single, 12-inch single, has got a white cover, because they would go, "What about this?" We go, "No." "What about that?" We go, "No." "What about that?" "Fucking horrible." "No." They said, "We'll stick out the white cover." Then yeah, that's fine. But get it. Every other band, Jeff, had these really good little cool badges you could pin on your lapel.
Yeah.
Fucking Decca done us some this big. Like the ones you got on a birthday card.
Yeah.
They look like
they got go for I am 4. Yeah. But I'll come back to that because I kind of like as a the glam, and I had older brothers who went to heavy rock and all that.
Yeah.
I kind of discovered punk. I've got to be honest, I won't lie. In about June 77, when I first heard God Save the Queen by the Pistols, and I started getting Stranglers and all that. Then I remember it dropped on my lap, the Running Riot single. Now, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Was that released in 1977? May 77?
July 77.
Yeah, July 77.
Yeah.
So when I heard that people were going, because we had fuck all from our manor in East London, people going, we've got our own band, the Cock Sparrer. They're from East London. And bought the single, and I thought, fuck it, this is as good as anything. You got your 999s out there on all that, and you buy Sounds, you buy the Enemy, and I thought, it's going to kick on. Then you had the We Love You single, and then I couldn't see any gigs really advertised for you or anything, because me and my brother, I was 13, 12, 13, 14. I used to go everywhere, the Vault X, wherever, and see gigs. Then it kind of, I don't know what, it just stopped. Why was that?
Well, there's a couple of bits we missed out of the story there, really, was that in 77 we done the Small Faces tour. Now, supporting the Small Faces. Now you imagine they was my heroes. Marriott,
of course, yeah, without a doubt. Manor Park,
got the best voice of any of us, you know.
Yeah, if ever, yeah.
Brilliant. And I remember vividly sitting in a hotel room in Liverpool on that tour, and here in the city by the Jam, and that for me was like ding dong. It was like, oh, this, we're doing it all wrong here, sort of thing. We was on tour with the Small Faces, copying all their dance moves and things like that, and we was thinking, by the time we get back to London, it's all gonna go different, because punk was really everywhere at that stage.
It happened, yeah,
and that's when we decided to release Running Riot as a single. Little story I don't know if you do know is that the bloke who actually signed us to Decca was Daryl's dad.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Who used to work.
What a crazy fucking story that is.
I know.
That's a fucking crazy story. So when they didn't back you, obviously, they didn't know what to do with you.
No.
So and then you record an album for them, and that ends up coming out in Spain.
Yeah,
something mental.
What we done was when we went in and recorded the singles, because they had their own studios up in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I mean, Rolling Stones recorded it and all that sort of stuff. Moody Blues had their own suite upstairs and all this, you know what I mean? When we got to do this, and we worked with a guy called Nick Talbot, I think it does some work with Finn Lizzy and some decent bands.
Yeah.
And we just went in and recorded almost everything we had. And out of that came Running Riot. I mean, We Love You was only dropped in at the last minute because we didn't have one of our own songs to do. We tried that, but that sounds all right. All those other ones were sort of studio outtakes and things like that, and stuff like, and they put it out.
Yeah, like demos. Yeah.
Put it out as a first album without us really agreeing that would be our first album or anything to do with the tracking or a running order or anything like that at all. How the hell it ended up just coming out in one country, not even our own country, I have no idea. I guess that's down the licensing or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that was
the story.
You didn't know what was happening, so you get kind of disenchanted, disillusioned, and then did you just say, "Fuck it, I've had enough"?
Well, when Running Riot come out, they said they didn't even put us with an agency. They said you can come in our office, you can use a telephone, and you can ring round. You can do your own tour. So Will, bless him, sat on the phone up in Decca for 2 weeks, ringing all his colleges and clubs and all this sort of stuff, and sending out copies of singles and flyers and all this sort of stuff. So it's all our own work. And we ended up with like a 2-week tour, but I don't remember there being anything in sort of London, let alone East London.
Yeah.
I mean, so you probably wouldn't have seen us advertised anywhere. It was down in Wales and up in the Midlands and up north and Exeter and all this sort of stuff, but nowhere local.
Yeah, you see, that's where a record company comes in, a management as well, to back you, to have the right kind of matter. And back then, it was all unscrupulous fuckers.
The only reason we got signed Decca, Jeff, it wasn't for our skills or good looks. It was because our manager at the time, a guy called Cliff Cooper, who owns Orange Amps and all that, and used to own Orange in Whole Compton Street. And Rhodes Music in Denmark Street, which I know you know, back from the day where Kevin used to work on Rhodes.
Oh, Rhodes, yeah, I know, Kevin Island, Rhodes in Denmark Street, and the Tin Pan Alley over the road.
I've been over there a few times, but he couldn't get a drink in the afternoon. But there was a guy called, remember John Miles? Number one hit with Music Was My First Love and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Cliff managed him. And I think because Cliff had an artist with a number one record out, I think he sort of snuck us in the back door. I don't think there was I don't think they particularly wanted us we were just happy to have somewhere that we could release the songs.
Yeah.
But it was never an happy marriage. He was never.
No, no.
It was never going to end well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you go to Metcon, right? 78.
Yeah.
So what do you do now? Do you start working? You go a graph. You think, fuck this game. I've had enough of it for the moment. Your life takes on a different route then.
Yeah, we wanted one last push, which is the American trip I was telling you about earlier. Yeah, we said let's sell everything. Let's sell all the guitars. Let's sell all the cabs. There was a couple of people that we knew that had moved out to America with the business. Let's go out and see them. So we done that. We flew to New York on the old Freddie Laker Sky bus from 49. I'll tell you some stories about that another time. Stayed in New York for a couple of days. In America, I don't know if they still do it, but when they moved houses, they used to leave a car behind with like their belongings in it. Then agencies will get people to drive those cars to the new house. So we had an agency, and they wanted a car, an Oldsmobile, delivered to Tucson in Arizona. We thought, well, that's on the way to LA, so let's do that. So we drove all the way across, like in shirts and Doc Martens, you know. I mean, no t-shirts. The aircon packed up after the first day or so. All the way across from New York to Tucson, dropped you off in Tucson, got the Greyhound bus to LA, tried to meet up with these people who we thought might be able to give us a leg up. Was in LA for about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Nothing come of it. We went around and the guys had a great time going to Whiskey a Go-Go and all these clubs out in LA and things like that. So we came home to nothing because we had no gear. Yeah. We had nothing to we come home and got jobs and went back to work, you know.
I can really sympathise with that, Cole, because when we were lost and fucked, we tried our luck in America in about 1985. Went over there without a penny in our pocket, and it was all the promises to set. I was over there about 5 weeks. I come back home and signed on. I was fucked. It just went pear-shaped. So, okay, so you've tried that. Then all of a sudden, we come to 1980, and Gary Bushell, he puts the Oi compilation album out.
Yeah.
Now it features Running Riot and Sunday Stripper gets on there. And I remember at that time going up to the Tin Pan Alley Club with Kevin Island, like in Rhodes, and getting pissed in there at 16, like, and all that. Stevie Burgess used to be around there. And I used to say to him, what's happening with Sparrer? What's happening? He go, I don't know. And then kind of the 2 tracks appeared on the Oi album. So what was your feelings at that? Or did you just think, so fucking what, you know?
I think the things that to understand about the band, and we always say like mates first, band second, really. And it's always been the way from the beginning. Even when we stopped playing, we never fell out. We didn't have.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
We didn't go separate ways. You know, the core 4 of us, you know, plus Will, we still said like, see us Saturday again, meet up in the Central, 1 o'clock, you know, we'll go football. You know, family, and sort of during this time we was all thinking about serious girlfriends and all that sort of thing. We didn't seem as though we was losing anything or missing out on anything because the band was not the be all and end all, you know.
It was a friendship. Yeah, it was a matehood.
We had this group of pals and we were still doing everything together. The only people we weren't doing was going out and shouting at people, you know. So we just thought we'd knock it on the head for a while. And then what happened was Stevie Bruce got the boozer in Bethnal Green, Stick of Rock.
I remember the Stick of Rock. Yeah.
Tried to put bands on in there and things like that. And then people would, you know, pick up there and ask you about what's going on with Cock Sparrer, why are you playing all these this? And so for all that period from when the Bushel stuff come out to after we done Shock Troops, we were still mates. We weren't going to make a living out of music. It wasn't going to be the thing for us. But you know, it was good fun, and it was a Saturday night mates.
Yeah, it's the comeback. So in 1982, I believe you record "England Belongs to Me."
Yeah.
Put it out as a single. Then in late 82 or 83, the album "Shock Troops" comes out. Now, that's defined as an all-time street punk classic album. How was it being in like 1982, 83, when you started in a punk band in the 70s with the Jan the Stranglers. Everybody now like fucking Boy George, Wham, Duran Duran. How did that go? And did you? I mean, it was critically, like in sounds and all that, really well reviewed. Did you play any gigs on the back of that, Cole? Did you start touring again?
What we done was Urge had this idea for this song called England Belongs to Me. Didn't have the song, just had the title. Went into a record company, if you can believe this, and blagged this record company into giving us money to record this song that hadn't yet been written. Yeah. They said, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll send you some money. Yeah. And he thought, fuck me, about going and write it. Now,
should have knocked him.
Our manager, Cliff Cooper, or ex-man, on good terms with at the time, he had us record his studio up in Chelsea. I think it used to be owned by Roxy Music. And we said, we need to go in and do some recording. He said, yeah, come in, I'll do your mate's great sort of thing. So the money they gave us for recording England Belongs to Me, we actually went in, knocked that out in half hour, and used the rest of the money to record Shock Troops. So we went back to them with the finished product of England, and they said, well, you know, we like this, it's really good. You should think about doing an album. Well, funnily enough, we've already got one here, and it's called Shock Troops, and they put it out for us the next year. So it all come out of black, really.
Yeah. And I think that's the way it had to be then. So if we get the Shock Troops like 82 to 84, then there's another hiatus, there's another gap.
We went out.
What happened there?
We tried to tour Shock Troops, and every other gig we played, there was a row. It all went up. It fucking.
Was that mainly a skinhead following, Cole?
Locals as well, Jeff. You know what I mean? I remember we played up in Lowestoft or somewhere, and we used to have Will and this other lad managing for there. He was as wet as anything. Stuff like that. Of course, still a good pal of mine, but he was so thin, couldn't fight his way out of a plastic paper bag. You know what I mean? And we used to call the fist magnet, because whenever he went off, it all sort of centered around him. You know, and we had so many nights where we would pack the gear up, and then we'd go and see Will and the fist magnet, who was sitting in A&E with half an ear hanging off and broken nose. Yeah. And then there were nights when you come out and your tyres had been done or your windscreen had been done. You know?
Yeah.
If back to the thinking about we're mates first, bands.
Yeah.
We thought,
and this is secondary.
Yeah. Do you think this has to win your life? You know what I mean? It was fun. We was having good fun. When it stopped being fun, we just took a step backwards.
Yeah.
And thought, Still going over West Ham, still meeting up.
Yeah. You know, we'll come to that lot, and we'll talk about them further on and your thoughts, because I'm really interested. Yeah, I'm really interested to know, Cole. Yeah. So, in that gap, say 84, like you reappear 92, 91. 92. So, what was life? Did you settle down then into a job, get married, kids?
Yeah, in all that period, I think we all got married pretty much.
Yeah.
Steve and Steve got married 1 year. Will married the first year. I got married the second year. Steve and Steve got married next year. Mickey got married the year after that.
Yeah.
All went to weddings, all best men, all got pissed, all had a great time. This is when Stevie Bruce went off and got the pubs, got the Flying Scud first of all. Then he got the what did we talk about earlier? What was the name of it?
Stick of Rock.
Stick of Rock. Steve got a Stick of Rock. Started putting bands on. People started asking about Sparrow once they found out he was in there.
Yeah.
One day, a fella came in and goes, "Do you want to get the band back together?" And Steve went, "Well, I don't think they're particularly interested." He said, "Do you want to get the band back together and come and play the Astoria?" And we laughed. We said, "You're fucking proper band play the Astoria. Don't waste money, pal." He said, "No, it's my money. You know, I don't mind. I'll pay you
£500.
Like, you know." So we said, "Well, I don't know. We have to think about it. Yeah, we'll do it." So learned the songs. We had a rehearsal that lunchtime in the Stick of Rock before we went and played the Story that evening. And we honestly thought, Jeff, no one's going to be there. It could be like two men and a dog and a tumbleweed going.
Yeah.
But it was chocker. And the best thing was they knew every word to every song. So in that time we weren't doing anything. Shock Troops became a little bit of a well-known cult. I don't like to use that word, but like a cult, underground type.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, you liked it and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the night was rand and it was mad.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And I remember, I've told this story before, but I remember Dad explained it as well. I remember being upstairs afterwards, sharing a bottle of wine with Arthur from the Lurkers.
Oh, good old Arthur. Yeah.
He said you should go to Europe. It's just, why the fuck? I've been to Benidorm twice. Why else would I want to go to Europe? Son?
Yeah. Yes. I smuggled some snout back from Calais. Yeah.
I done a couple of beer runs of a transit, you know what I mean? But other than that, he said, no, he said, there's a big thing there, especially in Germany. He said, Germany's jumping, like, you know, you should really go and have a look. So that was then phase two. So then we said, yeah, okay, we'll go and have a look abroad again, thinking no one's going to come, no one's interested. And we went out, we done 14 dates in 16 days around Europe. And some nights there was 30 people, some nights there was 500. You know what I mean? It was one of those, you didn't know what you're going to get until you got there, sort of thing.
No, but what I like about it is the perseverance, because I think you got to move like an army. You got to have each other's backs,
Yeah.
and you've got to do that. And if you're all friends, that makes it. But the growth of it to come from that, the thousands of people start turning up. Now, at this time, was Daryl Smith part of the band? Had he joined? Did he signed up in the 90s, Daryl?
Daryl's first show with us was at the Astoria. We needed another
nice one to jump in on, wasn't it, for your debut?
We needed another rhythm guitarist. Gary Lamin wasn't around anymore. So Smithy played with his band The Elite down the Stick of Rock. And Stevie Bruce said to us, as his lad plays in this other band, you know, he says he knows Cock Sparrer. So why don't we try and get him in and have a rehearsal? And fuck me, you know all the songs much better than we did. Shouldn't be surprised now, knowing him now as we do that's the case. But at the time, he was on top of everything, you know what I mean? And so he said, do you want to come play Astoria? And I think he said, if you know, you put The Elite on the first on the bill, you know, open it the night up, I'd love to do it. So he actually played twice that night. So that's when Smithy got involved, yeah.
And it's been constant since then, Cole. And it's kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Are you, when you look back at that, you kind of, you know, amazed at that success? But it has. I mean, you know, to play Alley Pally, the Roundhouse, and some of these places that you can play, that you can go out and you can fill them. And you know you're going to fill them. You know that the audience is going to be there. That must, now, we can go the other way. You can go fucking like gold dish, silver dish. So fucking what? I never earned any money out of them. Like, that's it, not a fucking choice. But then, for your longevity, for your career, and you look at it and you think, well, I fucking achieved that. We come from underdogs with nobody, no fucking big financial backing. So where you've been and the journey we've been through, that must make you feel proud.
I always remember the first time we played Punk Rock Bowling, which I know you've done many times, and we done it together. And together this year. I remember the very first time we done it, and they asked us to write a couple of notes for the program or whatever. Yeah. I remember standing on stage and thinking, got a moment, you know, one of the moments where the light bulb goes, you know what I mean? I thought, we have 5 scroats from East End of London. What the fuck are we doing in the middle of Las Vegas singing to people? You know what I mean? It's Frank Sinatra sang around the corner, proper artists, you know what I mean? And Donny and Marie Osmond and all that sort of stuff. What are we doing here headlining one of the nights? You know what I mean? So it still takes me by surprise. I never, ever, none of us ever take it for granted. If any of us get a little bit up and see or whatever, there's always someone there. They ask, remind them where they come from and put them back in their place. And we've always said that as soon as one of us says, you know what, I think I might have had enough now, or if health issues come along and one of us can't do it or whatever, we'll say, wasn't that a good ride? Didn't we have fun doing that? You know what I mean? And we would still be mates. We still go to West Ham. We still do all the things. Yeah. We do every New Year together. Wherever,
I mean,
we all get together New Year's Eve and spend the night and celebrate the last year we've had.
And that's a brilliant thing with that, Cole. Like, and to say, you know, we're touching it because everybody gets older. I mean, illnesses, like, you know, and I know there's been a few involved with the band, and I know Mick, I think it was Mick who got the thrombosis on the fucking plane and all that.
We share it around. I got one as well.
Yeah. And like, and how do you find now performing, you're 69 and you're getting in your 60s. I mean, the energy, the songs and everything's still there. Are you starting to find it, you come off and think, fuck that? I mean, we did a gig last Saturday in Geneva and we was contracted to play for an hour and 20 minutes. I thought, fuck this. And I'll tell you what, I'll come off of there. I said to my missus, I said to Olga and that, I said, I don't feel good. I said, I've got to fucking get to bed. I felt absolutely fucked. And then, but I'm 61. Like, now I'm thinking, you know.
You're one of the fittest blokes I know.
Well, I'll try my best. But for some reason, I don't mind doing 50 minutes or that. But the extra 20 minutes felt like a marathon. But I was just saying that, I mean, it's a great achievement. And then we can touch back on family, Cole. Now, how many kids have you got?
3. I'd think from you then. 3.
3. And how many grandkids?
5.
Right, yeah. I'm the same as you. I've got 3 kids and I've got 8 grandkids. Like, I'm fucking dreading Christmas. Like, I need to get out on the road. Now,
do they come to you at Christmas?
Yeah, I hope not. I live in a 2-bedroom gaff. And this is my podcast office. So podcast office. So right, and they've taken to it now. You look at your offspring and your kids and all that, and I've got 2 boys, and they love their rock music, but I always said to them, don't ever get involved in this fucking business. I said, because it's not a business to get to. Now, you've got young Tom, right? And I met Tom. I played with the Barstool Preachers a few times. Great band.
Yeah.
When did he show an inkling to you that he wanted to be involved in a band? He wanted to be a singer, and this is what he wanted to do.
From a very, very young age. I think I've sat through, me and the missus have sat through so many fucking school productions and fucking school concerts. You know what I mean? Where he's out there pushing his elbow in his way to the front. You know what I mean?
He's a showman, isn't he? Yeah.
He's always wanted to do that at every opportunity. He was in I think the first band he was in was a band called the Johns, and that was with Burgess son as well. So that was lovely, but it didn't really go anywhere. And I like, I'm a little bit biased, but I really rate them. I really like them. I feel so sorry for them for the struggle they have to do now to even get recognised in this business. You know what I mean? Getting up with the down, venues are closing, punters are saying we haven't got enough money to go. There's too many gigs to go to. You know what I mean? So they're out in Germany this weekend, I think, and they can play a couple of shows and things like that. But he doesn't know whether it's going to be 10 people or 500 people turn up. You know what I mean? I really feel for them. But you watch them at Blackpool Rebellion last year. They owned that Empress Ballroom. They absolutely owned it. And there's such nice lads as well that I just want to see them do well. There's a few good bands going through.
Oh yeah, but we played a couple of years ago. We played Exit Fest with them.
Yeah,
and I went and watched. Yeah, in Serbia. Yeah, I went and watched them on the stage. We was on the same stage, and the energy was fantastic. It was really, really good. They had the crowd fucking rocking, and then Tom. He come and watch us from the stage and all that, and they're really fucking good musicians. And this is what I say, it is an hard time for new bands, because now a lot of promoters don't want to promote. Oh, you go out and put this on fucking social media, stick this up on your Instagram, and you think, well, were you getting so much fucking percentage for it? You're doing fuck all. And now a band, it seems, there's not the record company route. We have to try and make a single with a video, stick it up on YouTube. And as a young band, I would imagine you look at that and think, fuck me, it's only got 2,000 views, or then it inches up, or if you're not getting 30,000 views, it's really, really hard not to get fucking despondent. And this is the thing with this game.
They have to invest everything they earn from like merch and things like that. And merch is the only way they make money. They have to invest that back into more merch. To hire a van or to book flights somewhere or something. No one's giving them that dough anymore. So they're always spending as soon as they get it. So these lads like both the bass players are chippy. If they want to go, they've just done a 2-week American tour. You don't get paid. You don't get paid for work, and they're going to go out and it's going to earn $50 for the of it. You know what I mean? They can't send that home to pay the rent.
Yeah, and this is the odd thing. I mean, and I think sometimes if the management with the preachers, sometimes you don't know whether it's detrimental that,
Yeah.
I don't mean this in the wrong way, that they're linked with the punk scene because they're not a punk band.
Yeah.
And as we all know, it was a man, they could fit into any kind of genre.
Yeah.
And what you get in the punk scene, as you say, no one's got a lot of money, people are dying up. Maybe the pool seems to depreciate every year. Not so many people going, but with Sparrow, that don't seem to happen. You still seem to get the fucking same amount of punters and selling places out. That must be fucking something to behold.
I have to say, and be honest, and he'll thank me when he sees this, I'm sure. But a lot of that is down to Smithy. A lot of that is down to Daryl, because
Daryl's brilliant.
Since Daryl came in as an extra guitarist to do this story gig, slowly he's become responsible for the business side of our band, and he is so conscientious about where we play, who we play with. Don't play too often. We need another album. He starts all these conversations. We all, we are a wonderful democracy. We do all have a say in it. It's no one pulling the strings, but he's the most organized person I know. And to have someone like that, I know you do all the work for the Rejects and things like that. It's sometimes
it fucking drives me mad. I feel like a fucking travel agent. Yeah.
No, you don't get thanked for it. And if something goes wrong, it's on your neck. You know what I mean? So it's a thankless task. He earns as much as he doesn't earn any more for doing that side of it. It's just that's something that he enjoys. But we would not be, I'm honestly saying this, not be in this position without Smithfield.
Yeah.
We do our part. I'm not the best singer, the best front man, but in Cock Sparrer that works. Birch ain't the greatest bass player, you know what I mean? But he writes some lovely songs, and he's another little cog in the wheel.
Everything connects.
The sum of the part makes it all work. And with Daryl taking care of all the headache stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It will go for the. We have conversations now. We were talking the other day about we really should start thinking about knocking us on the head. But it's back to the mates thing again. We're going, but we enjoy it. It's good fun. This weekend, someone's going to fly me to LA. I'm going to play 2 sold out shows. I'm going to have a right good laugh. I'm going to see off a bottle of Jack Daniels and a few beers, and I'm going to come home again. Now,
that's right. But what more could you want? As you say, who would have dreamt of that? As you was touching on earlier, fucking 4 stroke, as you say, in fucking East London, that been able to do this. It's not about earning millions and all that, but it's the legacy and the career. And also, I'm going to. Yeah,
just say there've been so many occasions where we've had a left or a right fork in the road, and we've gone left. And at the time, after a couple of months, fuck that decision. We should have stayed there, shouldn't we? But as it's turned out, it was the best thing to do. No way of knowing at the time. And if we hadn't have made those decisions,
it's a sliding doors moment, isn't it? Yeah, we take this one or we take that one.
We wouldn't be where we are now. And we're all very happy in the position that we are now. We're having fun, We're having fun.
A great democracy. Yeah. And I'm going to come on to a part of the show I know you don't really want to talk about, but we're going to have to. Now, we're going to have to talk about our club, West Ham United. Now, Cole, you're a season ticket holder.
Yes, sir.
You've been an avid supporter, born round the corner from the ground. You know what I mean? East Ham to Upland Park. What's your first memories of first going? Your first kind of games? Who you went with and what it was like?
My dad took me for the first couple when I was 7 or 8 or so. After they won the FA Cup in '64. But he was a goon of me, old man. God knows why. He was a glory hunter.
Yeah.
He was a fan of the 1930s Arsenal. Had a player called Ted Drake in amongst them.
Drake, that's right, yeah.
Ronaldo of his day, you know what I mean? He was like a superstar. Yeah. So my dad sort of said then, but I said, no. For some reason, I think probably because the kids at school supported West Ham, I said, no, I've got to support West Ham. They're my local team.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. We used to go, the mates from the band, to go over the west side, stand there every Saturday or every other Saturday, and just get so fed up and pissed off and disappointed and elated and
shows,
all the emotions, you know what I mean? I think it's West Ham fan. I mean, all those emotions are magnified. You know, what I mean, you're either really up or you're really down. You know, there's no.
Yeah. And a blessed time going to. I was born in '64, the year we first won the cup, but to be able to see the players that you've seen over there, you know, Bobby Moore, fucking Brooklyn,
Yeah.
Bonds, Devonshire, Frank Lampard, I won't say Junior, Frank Lampard Senior, and going through that. And also some of the players that were coming to Upton Park, like, you know, like your Dennis Laws, you know, you can go to fucking Stan Bowles, Georgie Best, Bobby Charlton, you know, we said Graham Souness, Dalglish, all that in that time. And we come to now. What was your thoughts at the time in moving to the Athletics Bowl, Cole? What did you think, in all honesty?
I felt at the time, because all they ever said, if you remember, was we can't develop the bowling, and if we could develop the bowling, we'd only stick like another 5,000 seats. So if you took down the old East Stand and the Chipping one and put like a West Stand equivalent stand on that side of the ground, you'd increase capacity by 5,000 people.
Right.
Let's move to this wonderful stadium where we're going to have 60,000 crowds, where we'll be playing Champions League. We'll have retractable seats. It'll be the atmosphere. It'll be the atmosphere of the bowling. The seats be right on top of the players on the pitch. Let's go there. We can compete with the best. We can attract the best players. And like a lot of people, I was mugged off.
Yeah.
None of it was true. None of it was true. And worse still, everything that was integral to our club, they ignored and they got rid of, and they forgot from the vendors outside. You know what I mean? So
of course.
To the stewards, love them or hate them, there's a lot of boys there who knew the faces. They knew who to do. They knew how, you know, how to diffuse situations.
The fucking Bursars, the West Ham supporters, fucking club, everything behind it.
Yeah. You go over the London Stadium now, as they called it. Another fucking thing, that and doing away with the badge, but that's another subject altogether. And now you've got the stewards like young kids in their dad's jackets. You know what I mean? They've got sleeves down here. They're great, maybe good for an athletics meeting, but at West Ham, where they handled. Not only did they lie to you asked this question, I'm going to keep going now.
Fucking right.
They handled the whole migration to the new stadium terribly. Absolutely.
Exactly.
All they was interested in, and I bought season tickets for the first couple of seasons we moved to the bowl. All they was interested in was bums on seats. If you applied for a season ticket, they said, right, give some money, here's your seat. Where's your somewhere in this area? You say, okay, I'll go there. Then I'll go there and there.
Yeah.
They didn't give any thought to what's best for West Ham. What's gonna create the best atmosphere? Where's all the people that want to sing? Why don't we put all the people that want to sing in one section over here? Why don't we put the granddads and the grandkids in this section over here? You know what I mean? And what happened was, because everyone was all jumbled up, you ended up with West Ham fighting West Ham, because there's some geezer said there was grandkid with a big lump stood up in front of him. He was like, excuse me, do you want to sit down? I said, no, fuck off, you know what I mean? And it was toxic. Absolutely.
Yeah. Terrible atmosphere. Yeah.
Horrible. Absolutely. I've seen, in the years they've been there now, I've seen 4 or 5 good games, and they were mainly ones in the European runs they've had over the last few years. And they were good nights. You know, it was proper rocking. Then go for a league game, mate, and it's like a fucking
shit. What I can't understand, Cole, they've got that big Bay Area thing, which is green between the fucking
by the Heineken bar.
Yeah, what the fuck's all that about? Now, I weren't Nostradamus, but I had a lot of people saying to me at the time, and I got it, saying, look, we've got to get bigger, this and that. But I was one of them. I said, to me, it's going to be a white elephant. Yeah. I can't just see it. We're not moving sticks like a fucking, Tottenham or Arsenal. They're more or less built on where they are. They're moving us 3 fucking mile away. Now, all that bollocks about the fucking bus garage, we could knock down the chicken run. Yeah. But I thought part of that, if we did, and we put another 5,000 to 7,000 on there, that would have and they rounded off from the Trevor Brooking stand to the Bobby Moore. As you come back saying, we could have had 44,000 in there. Now you've got 3,000 away supporters. For us, I thought that was perfect. I mean, what's Chelsea? 42,000, 44,000? And I thought that would have done, and you can see world-class team, world-class stadium. And the first season, but we had a great season the last season at Upton Park. When we went there, they threw Bilic under the bus. They give him fuck all to spend, fucking told fed and fucking players like that. Absolute shit. And they done us.
It seems to me that all they're interested in is just making enough, just doing enough to keep us in that division. They're not worried about it. They're not worried about winning the title. They're not talking about necessarily qualifying for Europe. That just keeps the fans happy. The people that own that club now, all they're interested in doing is just maintaining that. And you know what? If we get relegated, you know the rent we currently pay, that gets slashed again. So we're paying even less rent to play our football at that place. That's not attractive, is it?
Yeah, you know as well as I do. In my life, you probably had the same. 5 relegations with West Ham, but every time we went down, we had that cushion, and the next season, in the old Division 2 or the Championship, we was going to be playing at Upton Park, and you'd have like a 90%, 95% chance. We didn't always do it of making it back at the first attempt. Now, if we go down over this fucking crap hole, you're going to have to. How many? If we start performing like fucking mid-table in the Championship, what you're going to have? 25, 30,000 people there? I fear for us. I fear that we'll be fucked.
How many tourists you want to pay money to go and see West Ham Coventry? You know what I mean? Or West Ham Grimsby or someone. They won't, will they? It'll be
They won't go. They won't go. They definitely won't. And their eyes gone off the ball. And as I would say, all we can hope that they stay up this season, which I think is, well, it's going to be fucking tough. And then,
I mean, don't get me wrong, Jeff. The bowling had its problems. You know, you
of course it did.
Yeah. I mean, I was living out in Essex where I live now, but I mean, you couldn't queue up outside Upton Park straight to go home and take you 2 hours. You had to walk to East Ham. It was pissing down the rain. You know, you might pop in a Wakefield for one on the way past or whatever. Far from it. And I've had nights over there where it's been dead. It's not. It wasn't that roaring atmosphere every single game.
Not every time. No.
They turned up when they needed to. That was the thing. And I think at this new place, the latest place, the Bowl, even if they won't go mad, you've still got to work really hard to make any sort of atmosphere in there at all. It's just not football designed. It's not.
No, of course it's not. No.
It's not built with that in mind. And all the lies, all the retractable seats and the Champions League and attracting the best players, and you still got Sullivan dipping his toe in the water when it comes to trying to do deals, and you know, it's just players over there. It's just,
I know they look at these other chairmen in the fucking Premier League. They must look at him like fucking 5'2" with his Russian hat on, with his fucking some old model bird who's about fucking 2 feet taller than him. They must go, look at this cunt. Like, they must he's a fucking joke. But we'll fuck them off anyway. And I'm going to come back to Sparrer, Cole. As I say, it's been a great career, a great journey. What's the plans for the next couple of years? You're all fit, you're all still here, you're all going to be playing, and you're still going to be out there doing it.
As long as we're enjoying it, as long as we're having fun, as long as we've got our health, then we'll continue. There's no plans to knock it on the head at the minute. In fact, we just agreed our first show for 2027. So
brilliant.
So we're booking up. I mean, next year we'll end up probably about a dozen or so shows, 15 shows, something like that, and then we'll start doing 2027 and see where we go from there. Probably haven't got another album in us, to be honest. We'll still, you know what I mean?
That's hard, isn't it? It's hard as you get older, isn't it? To have that same, to keep that intensity and sing about the things that you once did and all that. It is, but you know, the last album did really, Hand on Heart did really well, didn't it? So, you know, sometimes it's good to leave your mark and think, well, that's it. You can go out and play your live shows. People are going to show up, and as I say, it's still great that you've still got it in you to go out there and do it. I stood on the fucking side of the stage when we was up in Durham last year, and it's brilliant. People love it, they enjoy it, and fucking good on you, Cole.
Well, I stood on the side of the stage watching you lot in Berlin, mate. Not to go have a fucking lay down. You were so.
So did I afterwards.
That was a good crowd. Well, it was a good night that night, wasn't it?
Yeah, good crowd, and it is. So what I want to do, I want to thank you very much, Cole, because I know you're going to America tomorrow and all that. Like, it's been a pleasure for you to come on the show.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much. And I'd just like to say, Stinky Turner's up and ready on Patreon. Give it up for the legendary Colin Mcfaul. Keep rocking, Cole.
Thank you very much.
Absolute top man.
See you soon,
Top
bro.
man.
See you soon.